episodes of The Anthony Rogers Show on Anthony Rogers TV on Roku and Fire TV. Also Cool Smile Empty Soul behind the scenes in music videos.
Today's guest is Roger Stone. Stone is an American conservative political consultant, including campaigns for Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, Jack Kemp, Bob Dole, George W. Bush, and Donald Trump. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, it's about time we had this conversation. If you want a beard like this, or close to this, or even half as good, use Luxurious Bastard Beard Oil. Promo code LEGENDARY for a discount, and step your game up.
At Revolution Coffee Company, we are dedicated to giving you the best cup of coffee you have ever had, while supporting those who keep us safe. We roast our coffee daily, and we offer same-day shipping. Our coffee never sits in a warehouse or a shelf getting stale. Our prices beat our competition, and our coffee speaks for itself. Check us out at revolutioncoffeecompany.com.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough of Arcade Monsters. Here we go.
The largest arcade in Central Florida, complete with classic arcades, virtual reality, pinball, consoles and rhythm games. Locations include Oviedo, Melbourne, Sarasota, and Lake Mary. Full bar. Come hang.
Welcome back to the greatest show in the entire universe. That was a really long intro, but it was good. I probably mixed that song wrong, turned the volume up too loud, but it's a great song live. You had to be there, I guess. Coach Sean Danielsen, how you doing, brother? Can you hear me? I can't hear you if you said something.
Not too good.
I can hear you now. Okay. All right.
You hearing me, dude?
Yeah. Okay. Well, today we have a legend on the show. He should have said no to this. He's way too big for this. We have Roger Stone. How you doing, brother?
I had no idea I was going to be on with ZZ Top tonight.
Well, welcome to the top. Welcome
That's
to our
right.
cell phone podcast. Okay.
So you guys are going to love this. I had two choices. I could do your show, or I could do an interview with Piers Morgan. And the truth is, he's such an asshole. I'd rather be with you guys.
You made the right choice. I feel like you made.
I think you made the right choice.
Well, thank you. That's
Yep.
an honor, actually, brother. So you're making
Piers
a lot of
Morgan is
different-
a douche.
You recently interviewed Donald Trump.
Yeah, I have a new WABC radio show. WABC New York is one of the great AM radio powerhouses left in the country, really dominant in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut market, and now really growing through WABCradio.com. They have their own WABC radio app. So Sunday was my very first show, kind of an audition, as it were, trial. And my show is going to be Sunday afternoon, which is the worst time for radio, evidently, in the week, which is fine. Because, I proved everybody wrong. I called my friend of 44 years, Donald J. Trump, told him it was my first show, asked him if he'd come on for an interview. And it was kind of outside the box. I mean, we asked the typical political questions, but then I asked him, for example, UFOs. Man, when you were president, did they ever show you any absolute proof of UFOs or extraterrestrial beings? And he kind of tried to finesse that. Said, well, they've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen some really incredible stuff. I can't really say. And of course, all kinds of people are texting me, emailing me, saying, you see, he knows. I asked him about the JFK assassination, whether he would release all of the classified records, which they've been hiding now for 50 plus years. And he said, yeah, it's time for everybody to know the truth. So it was a very cool interview.
I thought that he had released those.
He released some of them. So what happened is when the JFK movie with Oliver Stone was so big, it became a big public outcry and people wanted to know what was going on. So the Congress passed a law that said that in the future, in 2017, all the records would be released unless the president at that time decided to hold some back. So Trump did release a lot of documents. He didn't release all of them. At the last minute, the Central Intelligence Agency, I think, persuaded him that some of them might expose their methods or sources. Well, that's bullshit because there's nobody still alive. Once George W. Bush, who is peripherally involved here, died, George H.W. Bush, pardon me, there's nobody really involved in the agency or in the country who was involved who's still alive. But he held back about 10%, 20%. Then Biden, it then flips to Biden. Biden recently released more, but we still don't have all of them because the guys who did it don't want to be exposed. So they always convince whoever is president, no, we can't let it all hang out. But you have Robert Kennedy Jr., who I really like, by the way. I mean, my politics aren't exactly his, but on a lot of stuff we agree. And he just openly says, look, I've read 100 books on this. I've met with some of the top experts and historians. The CIA whacked my uncle. The CIA whacked my father. And he can, I mean, I'm just giving you the short version, but he can defend those positions. He cites a book that I've read by James Douglas called The Unspeakable. I myself wrote a book called The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ, because that jug-eared MFer did it. There's no question about it. Was not alone. I mean, everybody had an interest. The Central Intelligence Agency is involved. The mob is involved. Big Texas Oil is involved. The big banks are involved because Kennedy wants to go to a silver-backed dollar. But that's a New York Times bestseller, The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. It was, I hate to use this word, a conspiracy, but they were all in on it. Johnson was the one that had the greatest interest. First of all, he became president, but he was under investigation in two giant corruption scandals, the Billy Sol Estes scandal. Billy Sol Estes was a Texas wheeler dealer. Johnson got him multi-million-dollar agricultural contracts. He was kicking back. And Bobby Baker, who is the Secretary of the Senate, was Johnson's bag man. Nothing moved. No piece of legislation, particularly appropriations, defense appropriations, moved unless Johnson got a payoff. That was all coming to a head in November of 1963. Johnson was looking at being dumped as vice president, looking at a lifetime in prison. So it was kill or be killed, and he moved first. You can check out my book. You can get it at stonezone.com in the shop. You get a signed copy. Or you can go to Amazon and give your money to people who hate your fucking guts.
I agree. That's still hilarious, but I do agree. I agree with the statement, but that is hilarious, man. Like,
yeah, it's truth.
Most honest sales pitch I've ever fucking heard in my life. But where do you see?
Well, you like you said, George.
Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
No, you go first. That was going to be a better question than mine.
Stone, you're like a legend. I want to hear your opinion on this. Like, where do you see the future of America? Like, where do you see this going? Like, what do you think's happening now? Where do you think we're going, more or less? Like,
well, look, I think that Republican Democrat, even though I have a sentimental attachment to the old Republican Party, Lincoln, Goldwater, Reagan, Trump, the truth is, at the leadership level, at the Washington level, there's only one party. It's the Green Party, and everybody's in it. Green as in money. It is a one-party duopoly. The elites of both parties are working together to destroy the country. They talk a good game. Oh, we're going to cut spending. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They don't ever really do it. And then along comes Donald Trump. And boy, they think he's a cartoon character. You know, they just think he's a caricature. This guy could never be elected president. The Bushes and the Clintons are laughing their ass off. I mean, the deal's already cut. It's Jeb Bush versus Hillary Clinton. Doesn't matter who wins because we all split up the money. I mean, they're all in it together. For example, when the Haiti earthquake went down, the Bush-Clinton Relief Fund raised $65 million. They spent about $3 million of it in Haiti, and the rest of it just vanished. I mean, who knows? It vanished. So they're all in it together. This is why from the minute he won an upset victory, they've been trying to get rid of Trump. Trump is, he's got some big picture ideas like maybe we shouldn't have a nuclear war. The guy in North Korea has got nuclear weapons. Maybe I should develop a dialogue with him. Maybe it'd be better if we didn't freeze him out in the cold. Maybe we would get along better if we just tried talking to him. You can't talk to that guy. Well, Trump got the little rocket man, as he used to call him, to put his nuclear weapons development program on hold. Now that he sees Biden, he's right back at it. He told Vladimir Putin, you invade Ukraine, I'm going to hit Moscow. In fact, he said, you're going to be in bed with your Russian whores and you're going to see the roof blow in because I'm going to hit Moscow. And Trump admits, he said, Putin didn't know I was telling the truth or not. Putin thought maybe there was a 10% chance that I would really do it. But that 10% kept him from invading Ukraine when Trump was president. Same thing is true in China. The Chinese wouldn't move on Taiwan because Trump was a wild card. They thought he was a wild man. Who knows what he might do? He might hit them. So they were afraid, and it kept the peace. The only president in modern times not to get us started in a new war. Who fights the wars? Is it the old rich guys? No, it's not. So, I think that at this point, they're so threatened by the fact that he might come back. He's leading Biden in the polls. He's leading Ron DeSanctimonious in the polls. It scares the crap out of them. This time, unlike last time, where they kind of, they infiltrated his administration. The establishment types try to dilute your program, slow it down, kill it. They try to co-opt you. This time he will not be co-opted. This time I think he will appoint people who are Trump people, who are America First people. And he was very successful in his first term. I mean, you had a rocking economy. You had the most robust economy in our history, the greatest rate of job growth, the greatest rate of wage growth, the lowest levels of unemployment for Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, young, old, urban, rural, across the board. His tax policies would bring billions of dollars that people were sheltering offshore or spending offshore, investing offshore, back into the country to be invested to expand businesses here, create jobs here, rebuilt the military. My great disappointment is that he didn't move cannabis off the class 1 schedule. Should have done that. I still think in a second term we might convince him to do that. Personally, I'd ultimately go for full legalization. I think he should do that. We all know the drug problem in this country is opioids. It's not cannabis.
No, I agree. You made a lot of good points, man. Like, who out of all the presidents you've worked with and kind of collaborated with, who do you respect the most? I guess I would say Nixon is on your back, but I want to know. I'm just guessing.
It's a very tough question because they're all very different. I mean, first of all, I didn't know him obviously, but I was born in 1952. Dwight Eisenhower was elected president in 52. He's really underestimated because he was so low key. But you had unprecedented peace and prosperity. We had a balanced budget. We kept the communists in check. We had a boom economy. He was a very great president, but he was so low key, kind of nobody knew it, and that's the way he wanted it. Nixon, he ended the war in Vietnam. He got a strategic arms limitation agreement with the Soviets. He desegregated all the public schools, which were 80%, almost 80% segregated when he became president. He opened the door to China. People say, well, he's responsible for the Chinese problem. No, when he recognized China, they were dirt poor. They were a backwards agrarian society, with more oxen than they had cars. Nixon has no way of knowing that 30 years later, the Bush family is going to give them most favored nation trading status, and the Clintons are going to sell them our most valuable missile targeting secrets for ICBM missiles in return for illegal campaign contributions. That's what's made them the superpower. Those two things have made the superpower that they are today. Nixon is trying to get a strategic arms limitation agreement with the Soviets. Brezhnev is starting to go cold on him. So Nixon says, okay, fine, I won't make a deal with you. By the way, did I mention that Mao invited me to Peking next week? He wants to make a deal. And of course, the Russians then said, well, wait a minute, hold on a second. He was very skillful in playing them off against each other. Remember, they have a common border. They may both be, at that point been communist, but they did not trust each other, and they had an internal dispute. Nixon was able to play them off against each other, and we saved billions in defense spending because of that. Now, here's a thing people don't know: Nixon could not read music, but he could play the piano, the accordion, the violin, the clarinet, and the saxophone. And he was proficient in all of them.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
The guy was, he had the same body weight when he died as he had it in the Navy. He did calisthenics every day. He exercised before it was popular. He was very, very disciplined about what he ate. He read very widely. People don't think of him as an intellectual, but he was a great reader. And it would be very cool to sit around with Nixon. And he would say to you, hey, you want a silver bullet? which is what he called a martini. And I said, yes, sir. He said, let me show you my recipe. He said, you take a jar of olives, you drain out the juice, you fill it with water, you shake it well, you drain out the water. Now you fill it with dry vermouth, you put it in the refrigerator till it's cold. Take a couple martini glasses, you splash them with water, you put them in the freezer. Now you take your cocktail shaker, you fill it with ice, both ice cubes and cracked ice, shard ice, and you shake it really vigorously. If the shaker doesn't get so cold that it hurts your hand, you're not doing it enough. He says, now you take the glasses out of the freezer, you take one olive or two out of the bottle, and you pour in the martini. And if they're not little shards of ice, he says, floating on the surface, well, that means you fucked it up. And I said, wow, that's a great recipe. And he said, yeah, Winston Churchill gave me that.
Dude, that's awesome, man. We actually can't cuss on this show, though, Stone.
Pardon me.
This is a children's show, and I'm messing with you. That's an awesome story.
It seems like a family show.
Yeah, we want to keep it G-rated for the fans and stuff.
All of Anthony's fan base are children.
Yeah, it's for 3 years and younger. Yeah, but no, it's an awesome story. I drink with Nixon, man. I think that'd be a badass time, dude. I think to reduce what you said, I think that'd be a badass time drinking.
Well,
Nixon.
the thing about Nixon was he didn't hold his liquor well. So if you tried to talk to him about the past, what was Eisenhower like? What was Jack Kennedy like? What was Joe McCarthy like? What was it like with Charles de Gaulle or Winston Churchill? He was always very forward-looking. Now, he didn't want to talk about the past. He wanted to talk about the future. Who are the young nut cutters in the party, he would say. But after he had a couple drinks, then he would become more talkative. So one day, we had a couple pops at his place in Saddle River, New Jersey. And I said to him, Mr. President, let me ask you a question. Who really killed Kennedy? Kind of stares into his martini. He kind of shivers and he says, Dallas. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, let me put it to you this way. Lyndon Johnson and I both wanted to be president. The difference was I wouldn't kill for it. And that's what inspired me to begin the research and write my book, Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but if you read that book, I guarantee you will say, I nailed it. I proved it.
I'll check that out, man. Like, speaking of not a lawyer, man, I love that rant. Like, someone's like interrogating you or something like that, and he just like told the guy to fuck off and he's be disbarred, and he got disbarred. Like, that was fucking hilarious to me. I guess as just a person that like enjoys internet clips, that shit was hilarious. By the way, totally different subject.
Well, I was in a deposition for 7 hours, and this guy kept asking the same question over and over, thinking he was going to get another answer, and I finally got pissed off. By the way, it was a very key day. So that day, the story broke that the jury forewoman in my case, who claimed during jury selection she didn't know who I was, knew nothing about the case, had been attacking me by name regarding the very case she became a juror in on Facebook and Twitter, but she had them on a private setting so nobody could see them. So I have 100 press calls. Meanwhile, this douchebag who's trying to sue me because I defamed him says, he's asking me the same question over and over and over again. I finally lost my temper. And the problem here is people play little tiny clips of it. Watch the whole thing. I kicked his ass.
I know you did. No, you kicked his ass even in clips, bro. That shit was that made me laugh legitimately. Just like you told him he's gonna be disbarred. He was disbarred, wasn't he? Like later, wasn't he disbarred?
Yes, he said, by the time this case gets to trial, you'll be in prison. I said, no. By the time this case gets to trial, I'll be free, but you'll be disbarred.
And he was. That's hilarious.
He was suspended, but yeah.
Fair. Still funny, man. My good buddy Luke Rolfing too, right?
Yes, I know Luke.
That's so funny. That guy's fun as fuck, man. I love that motherfucker. He's fun, man. I just want to name drop him real fast if he's watching this. But yeah, like you said, you brought up a good point about not talking about the past as much. Like I feel like talking to a guy like you have like decades of just legendary shit I could just bring up. But where do you see like the future as far as like? I mean, I kind of asked for the country, but like where do you? Like, what is the future and politically?
I think this is very clear, which is Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. It's really the only way he can save himself and the country. He's already charged in 37 counts in Florida. They'll probably charge him with other bogus crimes in D.C. Probably charge him with other bogus crimes in Georgia. As far as the federal charges are concerned, I don't see how they get to trial prior to the election. So he's going to have to run while under indictment. I would argue that he's going to wear it like a badge and say, you see, it's all political. These people are trying to stop me from saving the country by cooking up these charges. By the way, what about Joe Biden getting a wire for $5 million from the Ukrainians, in return for getting this prosecutor who is digging into his son's business deals fired, just to give you the short version. So the question here is Trump, I think, ultimately has to run, probably under indictment in various jurisdictions. To be very clear, he's going to be fighting in court at the same time he's campaigning. And the real jury is going to be the American people, because if he's elected, he can turn around and pardon himself. And that's what he's going to say he will do. So, I mean, he has to run the table to do this. He has to win every caucus and primary, I think, but I think that's likely. And then he really needs some very, very good lawyering. That remains to be seen. But we have two different standards here. I mean, Joe Biden kept records. Barack Obama kept records. George Bush kept records. The Presidential Records Act allows him to keep the records. There's a federal decision. I mean, Bill Clinton kept a bunch of federal records in his sock drawer, and the judge ruled that was perfectly legal. They belong to him. So I think he's got to put on a spirited defense. If he loses, you guys better be studying, brushing up on how to speak Chinese.
Yeah, no, it's freaky because like Joe Biden's not even campaigning. Like he's like, I'm gonna run, but he's not like even campaigning. I'm like, I think they have this on lock, and it's kind of terrifying. I mean, as like an American, it's kind of terrifying, man. Like the times we're in, arresting political opponents and stuff. It's very communist. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I don't think the problem is he can't campaign because he keeps falling down. I mean, I really actually feel, in a way, I feel sorry for the guy. I think his family's putting him through this because they like the money and the power. Or maybe he has to stay in office now to avoid being prosecuted himself and having members of his family. But it's elder abuse. I mean, guy doesn't look well to me. Some days he doesn't even seem to know where he is. He's shaking hands with invisible people that don't exist. He's falling down. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. I don't wish him any harm. I didn't think it was funny when he fell down. Some people thought it was funny. I did not think it was funny. I felt bad for the guy. I mean, he should be in a home someplace. He should be eating his Cheerios and watching TV.
Honestly, yeah, you brought up a good point. Yeah, we should feel bad for people even if they fall and like are fucking up our country. You know, just as like Christ would. You know, Christ would love everybody, and I think that's a good point, man. I think that's a damn good point actually. And I feel like I made fun of him falling quite a bit, and you made me feel kind of guilty about that. So, but you're right though. I think you're right though. Ultimately.
So what are gasoline prices out there? What are gasoline prices out where you guys are?
I'm in Montana right now. It's like diesel's like $4 a gallon basically. But I'm traveling. It's getting worse as I go west, obviously. But
yeah, it's about $3.20 where I'm at right now. I'm in Kentucky traveling.
It was like $1.89 when Trump was president. $1.39 in some places. Quite a difference.
It was pretty good.
Well, I mean, the thing is, just in context, every single president we've had in my lifetime, they all promised energy independence. Oh yeah, we're going to do it. Don't worry, it's coming. And then they didn't do anything. There's enough oil and gas underneath our own country, underneath the ground, to fuel the country for 100 years. Yet we're getting on our knees begging the Venezuelans and the Russians and the Saudis for oil, and they're charging us up the ass. It doesn't have to be that way. Trump's the first guy who actually did what he said he was going to do and got us energy independence. And then as soon as Biden is elected, he turns off the pipelines and he cancels all the drilling and fracking permits. We basically kill our own energy industry. Now he has to go and bended knee to the Saudis, and the Saudis are kind of thumbing their nose at him. I mean, it's a disaster. It's really a disaster.
No, it is. It's sad. Like really, it's like sad seeing America be in this situation. He's it's like on purpose, which is annoying. He's like America's like the leader of the world in innovation and like everything else. Like we're the only country people can name on a map, no matter what, like one of the 190 countries you are. And it's kind of ridiculous and embarrassing to see this decline, and like a man-made decline. It's like what's more annoying. Like something that's easy to avoid. I mean, this isn't even hard to fix. It's just you know what I mean? It's just like insane. I feel like, man, it's kind of insane.
Yeah, it seems purposeful, and the whole gas price thing then just chain reacts to everything else, and inflation goes through the roof, and
I
we're
went to
all poorer because of
the
it.
store the other day. I don't go very often, but I went to buy a steak. Well, it wasn't really a steak. It was more like 3 bites of a steak, $12.95. You know, I bought it. It was the only steak left in the store. I mean, we got food shortages here. I talked to a guy in Delaware. They have a shortage of chicken wings. The Delmarva area there, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, that's like the chicken capital of the world, but they don't have chicken wings. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, it definitely seems purposeful. I mean, have you seen all those videos of farmers being paid to destroy their own crops and destroy their own animals? It's like a government program to pay them to destroy our food supply doesn't seem rational or productive.
And the large number of food processing plants of all kinds that just miraculously exploding or having fires, getting hit by an airplane. It's all a coincidence. I mean, Tucker Carlson has been great on this. We're not talking about 2 or 3 incidents. We're talking about dozens and dozens and dozens of them. Meanwhile, in all honesty, across the country, the Communist Chinese are buying up all the prime farmland, ranch land, bridges, tunnels, toll roads, all of these highways, all of these facilities, ports, and we're selling them to them. We're going to wake up and the Chinese are going to own our country. So very sad.
Yeah, that's scary.
So
what's a peaceful resolution? Like, what do you think a peaceful resolution is out of this? Like ban foreign countries and companies from buying land within.
In Canada, the Chinese can't buy land. It's against the law in Canada for a foreign country to own Canadian land.
We should follow that.
We could do the same thing here.
We should do that for sure. And then, like, we should find peaceful resolutions, whatever. Because it's not the American people's fault and the Chinese people's fault. It's like government to government. We need to figure out some kind of like solution that's basically just like bam, get out of here, like deal with your own shit. And we definitely need factories here, and like the currency will adjust after that. But like all businesses are just like in other countries and stupid as fuck. Like everybody's selling our country. It's individuals are selling our country out too. It's not just major players. Like on an individual level, people are buying slave-made things from China and selling them while they pretend like they hate slavery. I mean, so it's just like it's not on an individual level too to change this really. And we just need people like the communists are basically going to take our government. They're going to try and starve us. So basically, you have to have food and you have to have like numbers, I guess, regardless. But I mean, there's probably peaceful resolution though. I think we can get out of this just with our head game. Like, because we don't, like, most people wouldn't admit the Chinese are trying to take us over without violence. They're using like the art of war. They're using that whole like they want to take the land, least amount of casualties, blah blah.
Well, but also around the country, while we've been importing death and war, they've been building bridges and hospitals and schools and highways and ports in the third world. So they're making friends while we are making enemies.
Definitely.
The whole American century lasted about 10 years. The two-party duopoly, the neocons, they're in war because war is extremely profitable. They don't care how many people they kill. They really don't care. But you're not going to bomb your way to peace. So, and we are this close to war in Ukraine.
Yeah. I know.
We sent 191 billion now. It's probably low. Half that money isn't accounted for. Nobody knows where it's going. Some of it's definitely being funneled back to payoffs for people here.
Absolutely.
And what this war is really about, which no one will tell you, is that we signed an agreement with the Russians under Reagan, in which we agreed not, in return for their not objecting to the reunification of Germany, we agreed not to push Ukraine into NATO, which means we agreed not to put NATO missiles pointed at Russia on the ground in Ukraine. And we certainly said we would not let them open bioweapons labs. We've already built the silos, we're just waiting to drop the missiles in. This isn't really no different than Nikita Khrushchev and the Russians putting Russian missiles in Cuba, 92 miles from the United States in 1962, which Kennedy objected to, and that was resolved peacefully. So that's what the real issue here. This idea that Putin wants to restore the faded glory of the Soviet Union, and he wants to occupy the whole country. Couldn't even afford the whole country. I mean, but if you read the war propaganda that would tell you the Ukrainians are kicking the crap out of the Russians, it's just not true. I mean, it's just not true. And these recent papers that leaked, these classified documents, show that 7 out of 10 casualties are being taken by the Ukrainians. There's 448 million missing at least. It's far more than that, I suspect. The Ukrainians are ill-equipped for their their current big offensive, and then the Russians, Putin can't lose because the generals back home will kill him if he does. So, I mean, this is the biggest single danger in the world, that we stumble into World War III. And I think, look, Trump is the guy that cut off the Russian pipeline. He's the guy that gave the offensive long-range missiles to the Ukrainians. He's got credibility with both sides. He knows all these guys, and he could negotiate a peace tomorrow and end this thing. Biden doesn't want to end this thing. He won't even enter into peace talks. They won't even talk, which is crazy. And I just think between the Middle East peace agreement that he brokered, his success in North Korea, he's keeping the Chinese out of Taiwan. He's demonstrated on the world stage that he can get things done, and he's a deal maker. Biden already said in the beginning, before the war, he'd be willing to give up pieces of Ukraine to the Russians. So this idea that Trump is in the bag for the Russians is nonsense, just nonsense. And when they asked him in that CNN town hall, well, who do you want to win? He says, I just want the killing to stop. We're killing too many people. I want the killing to stop. That really impressed me.
That's the truth, man. Like, war's insane. And like, yeah, no, the rich just sell weapons to both sides, and like they want us to kill each other. It's all depopulation and this globalist power move, and it's kind of insane. And like, I mean, I don't know. I hope it's not the revelations, but these guys are using it as a blueprint. If it's not, it's like it's kind of insane to me. And like, I hope that everybody comes to God and like chills out, basically lays down their weapons and swords and stuff. Like, I feel like it's a crazy time to be alive.
It's amazing to me how overlooked the fact that Trump oversaw the most peaceful 4 years that we've had in forever. That fact is so overlooked. Like, I know so many liberals that are all about peace and love, yet hate Trump to the core and don't acknowledge the fact that that we weren't involved in any wars during that time.
Well, I mean, Obama dropped a record number of bombs, man. When we, between the Obamas and the Bushes and the Clintons, it's endless war. Endless war. Trump is the peace candidate. Never thought I would see that, but that is the case today.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's funny because so many liberals are, consider peace and love to be their foremost issue, and yet they hate Trump and don't acknowledge that aspect. And
they don't seem to be. I mean, the liberals used to be big for free speech. Now they like censorship. Oh no, you shouldn't be on Twitter. You shouldn't be on Facebook. You should be on Instagram. I'm banned for life on Facebook. I'm banned for life on Instagram. I'm banned for life on TikTok. Not that I care. I'm banned for life on YouTube. So, I mean, this is for what reason? They don't ever give you a reason, just because we don't like your suspenders. Who knows? They don't give you a reason. I'm back on Twitter, which I'm very grateful for. I like Elon Musk. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I like him. He brought me back when I thought nobody else would. Got almost 500,000 people following me there now. By the way, I'm at Roger J. Stone Jr., Roger J. Stone Jr. Give me a follow. I appreciate it. I like it. And I'm much more careful with it now. I don't argue with people. When trolls hit me up and say bad shit about me or my wife or my kids, I just block them. I don't even bother. It doesn't bother me.
You can't win. You can't win the internet battles,
No, it's a waste of your time. Just if somebody's a bonehead, just block them. Keep moving.
Yeah.
I just retweet them. I give them the attention they want. I'm like, retweet. like every time. I don't know, man. No, that's crazy. I didn't know you were banned from Instagram for a while too. That's where I ran into you. That's where I started talking to you. I remember your account got deleted, but I didn't know that it was banned for life.
No, they never gave me a reason. So Facebook banned me because they said that I had 100 fake Facebook profiles, which I didn't. That was just a lie. I had one for each one of the books that I wrote. I had one, my personal one. I had one for my blog, stonezone.com. And I had one for my Stone on Style, my men's fashion blog, which I used to have. And that was it. But somebody told them that I had 100 fake profiles By the way, it's very hard to have a fake profile on Facebook, as I recall. But I didn't have any. Anyway, because they own Instagram, I was automatically canceled at Instagram. So I didn't even break any Instagram rules that I'm aware of. And I kind of like Instagram. I like the reels and stuff. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm big on Truth Social, Trump's site, which, if you want to talk to like-minded individuals, still pretty good. I got almost 110,000 followers there. They're all right-wing, conspiracy theorists like myself, but there's nothing wrong with that. They're patriots. So I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I kind of like it.
It is crazy how.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, it is crazy that the Democrats these days support censorship. They're fully on board with censorship.
They are opposed to civil liberties, and they want war. Everything's backwards from the way it used to be, and they love the FBI.
Right.
And they love the FBI. They used to hate the FBI. The FBI was spying on the anti-war groups during the Vietnam War. So everything is reversed now. Now they like big oppressive government sticking its nose into your personal life, spying on you. Now they like endless foreign war. Now they don't care about civil liberties. They don't care about free speech. Everything is backwards from the way it used to be.
They're all about medical and corporate tyranny. It's just crazy. It's nothing like what the party used to be.
No, it's certainly not what liberals used to be.
That's what I mean. It's just, and yet they can't see the complete 180 that they've done for some reason.
No, they really can't.
I mean, they used to have me, personally when I was younger, kind of on board. But I mean, I just started seeing so much hypocrisy at a certain point that I was just like, I couldn't stay there.
I kind of consider I'm a libertarian more than a traditional conservative. Knows I'm for the whole concept of freedom, personal freedom. So if you want to smoke reefer, that's up to you. I don't care. Don't tell my kids to do it. Let them make their own decision when they're 18. But so I'm a kind of an old fashioned Goldwater conservative, meaning I'm for maximum personal freedom. I don't want the government in my bedroom. I don't want the government in the boardroom. I don't want the government in my business. And that's the essence of conservatism. These liberals today they're fascists. I mean, they're authoritarian fascists. They call themselves liberal, but they're not liberal in the classical sense at all. They're for censorship. They're for war. They're for secrecy. They're for an oppressive federal government. They're for mandatory vaccinations. Let everybody decide for themselves about being vaccinated. Just let everybody decide for themselves. You want to do it? That's fine with me. I shouldn't be required to do it. It should be up to each individual. Study the issue, make your own decision.
It's true.
I agree with that, man. I agree with a lot of the fundamentals of the Libertarian Party, but I like I think it's definitely very forward thinking. I think we just need to abolish government as much as we can, but still have certain key things. I think the overreach is ridiculous. And I think like I don't know, man. Like big pharma is a big problem too. I think, and the left used to hate them too. Like that's probably one of the biggest problems we have right now. Like as far
it very definitely is. It's an enormous problem. But look, we're very restricted on the platform you're on and talking about it. I'm not interested in getting you guys blown off, but I think Robert Kennedy is a brilliant guy. I read his book on Dr. Fauci. I recommend it. It'll blow your mind. I'm very impressed with this guy. I agree with him on some stuff. I don't agree with other.
I like him too.
He's pro-abortion. I'm anti-abortion. He's big on global warming. I think global warming is bullshit.
Same.
But we agree on health freedom. And he's against the foreign wars. He's against the corporate government cabal that is just interested in making money and terrorizing people, that's hollowed out the middle class, destroyed the poor. I mean, I think the guy really cares about people. He's very, very smart. I've never seen him cornered where he couldn't back up something he said with a study or other documentation. I really think he's, if I were a Democrat, and I'm not, I'd vote for him. I don't think he's going to be nominated. I think they're going to kneecap him the way they did Bernie Sanders. They're going to cheat him. But he's running a great race, considering that none of the 3 TV networks will put him on without severely editing it. And that he can't, that he can't, they took him off Facebook. They took him off Instagram. He's made great use of Twitter. I have a lot of admiration for him. Now, if you go on Twitter, you'll see there's a picture of he and I together because I met the guy one time in my life. We're not friends. You might be able to call us acquaintances. No, I didn't urge him to run. No, I'm not running his campaign. No, I'm not giving him advice. I just find it interesting. I follow him because I find it interesting. I'm a political scientist. I'm interested in kind of new techniques to communicate and how it all works. And as I say, I share some of his views on what I think are the more important issues like war and peace. Because if we're all incinerated by a nuclear device, by a thermonuclear missile, does it matter whether abortion is legal or not?
That's a great point. And I would love to see an RFK Jr. Trump like thing. I would love to see the debates. That'd be an interesting debates. And I think I'd be down with either of those guys. Honestly, that aren't assuming. The information I have at this point. There may be more information to come. And I hate saying.
I wrote a column in which we kind of just outside the box and said, "What about a Trump Kennedy ticket?" There's a lot of obstacles to that. There's a lot of legal reasons why it's difficult, having to do with sore loser laws and party registration and so on. However, there would be nothing to prohibit Trump from appointing Robert Kennedy Attorney General, like his father, or appointing him the head of HHS, for example. When he was asked on Laura Ingraham the other night whether he was going to, if he got beat by Biden for the nomination, would he endorse Biden? He ducked and said, "I have to think about it." They said, "Well, what if a Republican was elected, say Trump was elected, he asked you to be in his cabinet?" He said, "Well, I'd have to seriously consider it because if you're called on to serve your country, you should serve your country." I mean, John Kennedy's Treasury Secretary, C. Douglas Dillon, was a Republican from New Jersey. Franklin Roosevelt, Secretary of War and Secretary of State, Knox, can't remember the other guy's name. They were both Republicans. So, it's a tradition to have a bipartisan cabinet. It's only in recent years that we haven't done that. I like the idea of a national unity thing of Republicans and Democrats working together, because some on the Republican right and some on the progressive left, like the Bernie Sanders people, when it comes to trade, when it comes to war, we have more in common than we have apart. Where we divide is mostly on the social issues, not completely, but mostly. I think that it'd be nice to have a political realignment. The people who say we need a new party, that these two parties are shot, they're right. But you have to remember that the rules for the debates and the rules to get on the ballot for the parties are written by Republicans and Democrats working together. And they work together to eliminate competition, to make it hard to have internal party competition in primaries, and to make it hard to have any other option. So when you went to the 2016 election, I think it was, on election day, I saw a poll in which 71% of the people said they wish there was a different choice. It was probably 2012. They wish there was a different choice between Obama and Romney. Well, there was. The Green Party had a good candidate. The Libertarians had a good candidate. But nobody knew about it because they weren't ever allowed into the debates. And the criteria for the national debates is they said, well, you have to have 5% in the polls. Well, when those candidates hit 5%, they change the threshold to 15. And when they hit 15, they change it to 19 because they don't really want any debates. Here's the criteria. If you can get your name on the ballot in enough states to theoretically win 270 electoral votes and therefore be elected president, you should be in the debates. It's hard to get on the ballot, but both the Libertarian and the Green Party candidates were able to get on the ballot, and they both should have been in the debates.
I agree, and I'd want to see an RFK VP for Trump, man. That would rule. That would be a great way to unite parties, honestly.
If you go to my Substack, rogerstone.substack.com, I wrote a long piece on that. Gentlemen, I must tell you, I'm fairly exhausted. This is my 9th interview of the day, so I'm going to move on, if that's okay with you boys.
Yeah. I appreciate you even taking the time to be here, man. God bless you. God bless your family. And thank you for taking the time to be on this cell phone show, man. I appreciate it, man.
Well, just remember this. I am to politics like Ric Flair is to wrestling.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for coming on.
I'll see you guys. Thanks.
Right on, brother. God bless.
Take care.
No, that was legendary, man. That was legendary, dude.
Very, yeah.
That's crazy, man. Facebook must have dropped. We just dropped a lot of people on Facebook the last couple minutes. It went from 200 to 5, and I don't know if it's the title or something we talked about. YouTube's still going good, like a couple hundred people on YouTube, I think. But
Well, you know, not surprising. I mean, I guess he's banned for life from Facebook, so they probably don't like other people sneaking him on.
No, I wonder that, man, because like it's down to 4. That's crazy. And they're like my Facebook friends. Like it's like 4 of my Facebook friends. Like
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. That's funny. You came here over Pierce Morgan too. That's great, man. We're getting somewhere.
I wonder if that was true or just funny.
Either way, you know, it's gonna be a pro wrestling promo clip, dog. You know, that's gonna be
that's true.
That's gonna be the pro wrestling promo, fucking for sure, man. Yeah. So what's you're playing in Kentucky tonight? You said.
Yeah, we're in Glasgow, Kentucky. I gotta go on pretty soon here too. I was gonna hang for another 10 minutes or so and then go, but he beat me to the punch.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I hope your show kills, man. I hope everybody in Kentucky fucking loves it and fucking kill it, man.
Kentucky. Yeah.
I hope the whole state's there, bro. I hope the whole fucking state goes. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're not. They're not here.
I hope they are.
I haven't been in the club yet though, so I don't know. Who's, you know, what it's like in there, but hopefully it's a good show.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you, dude? When's your next show?
Thursday. I'm in Montana right now, kind of yeehawing it, man. Like, and just enjoying all this country and mountains, man. I've been kind of like just chilling with my wife, like staring at mountains and stuff. And yeah, no, we got you played the venue I'm playing Thursday, the El Corazon, Seattle. You played there before, right?
Oh yeah, I played there many times. That's a classic little dive bar out there. Dude,
yeah, Nirvana played there. That's like my favorite thing about it so far. That's pretty dope. And I'm hyped about that.
Have you played there before, or is this your first time over there?
I've opened before. I've never like headlined before. So it's like I did a show like a couple years ago there. I've never been the headliner though, so that's pretty interesting this time.
Oh, cool. But you know the drill. You've been there before.
Yeah. I've opened for like a comedian or something like that before.
Don't let any of the junkies underneath the bridge by the venue vaccinate you though.
I'm from St. Louis. I worry more about Seattle people, you know, like about me, you know. I feel like I don't know. St. Louis is probably way more like that's what I noticed. Like living in St. Louis last year, St. Louis is more ghetto than everywhere else I've seen so far. So like, so I'm like, man, this city sucks. I go there, I'm like, man, it's cleaner than St. Louis. That's crazy.
Honestly though, Seattle. I think Seattle will do it. I think that's a grimier spot than St. Louis at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna Uber in. I think I'm gonna leave my bus in the suburbs. Fucking Uber in. You
really?
Know, I don't think I would drive. I don't want to drive by that shit. You know, I don't like. You know, next thing you know, I'm just giving.
Well, El Corazon will let you park right out in front of their venue. They have a strip for your bus, so you could, you know, technically be in there just hanging out all day waiting for your set, and then just go in just to play and then come right back out to your bus.
That sounds a lot better. You sold me. You sold me.
No,
I would just say publicly too. I told you a million times, like just like with people watch, like Sean has so much like good information on touring. Like he's been doing this for like 20 years, and like it's great. I'll like, run all these like stupid ass ideas I have off me, and like, no, you should do that. I'm like, okay, that's good. Yeah, all this like good advice, and I appreciate that. I've told you that a million times.
Oh yeah, we've been refining the routine out here for a while. So any helpful anything I could share is fine. It's good.
Nope. It's been gold, bro. Like the Loves hookup, been gold, and then fucking like, just like, and then leaving the show. I watch what you do, and you're smart. You just you hang, sign autographs, and then you just leave, and then you go to the next like as far as you can to the next place you're going. So you set up the next day, and I love that strategy. I've been trying to utilize that strategy a lot. Like, and I think it's smart. And I think even if I get an hour further, like or closer for the morning, it's smart. And I think that's just a good strategy for anybody.
It breaks up that drive, you know. It helps with those big drives quite a bit, I feel like.
No, it does. Like it does. I like how it starts off with like a political talk with Roger Stone, and it's like secrets of touring. Like afterwards, like so whenever you start a band or become a comedian, like you could just live at gas stations and think you're a genius for it. Like just like us.
Yep. I don't think people realize how many years of my life have been spent living at a truck stop. If you just stack all the nights to like back to back, you know, that I've spent at a Loves or a Pilot, I mean, it's like I've pretty much lived at gas stations for years, but it works.
Though it's such a good strategy because like they have food all the time, and like like no matter what, because like that was always the bad part about parking in a random parking lot or like this. I have to like either cook or like carry food I don't want to carry, or like fucking I just go in there and be like, all right, here's $7 or $12, whatever. All right, and then they always have like a fast food place attached to it too. Somehow it's open 24 hours, most of them, except the last one I was at.
Oh, you went to one that wasn't open 24 hours?
Yeah, they're open 7 to 7 or something. The Hardee's, bro.
Oh, just the fast food inside.
Yeah, just that one. Yeah, not the gas station.
Yeah. No, that.
Rob's asking how many do you think you played overall, like shows? Someone Rob asked.
Like in my entire career.
Yeah, I saw the short circuit happen. Like a fucking lot.
Thousands.
That's crazy to think about.
Oh yes, thousands
of shows. That's nuts, man.
Well, just when we left for tour in 2003 on our first tour, we were gone for basically a year and a half, playing shows almost every night. You know, just supporting like that first group of singles and shit, and then 20 years later, here we're still doing it. So thousands.
Yeah, that's impressive, man. That's cool, man. That's I mean, just like that's awesome, dude. Hopefully,
pretty cool.
Yeah, the difference between your shows and my shows is that people show up to your shows, and that's pretty cool. Like you should do that. Like I like how you do it. Like how you have like fans. Like that's pretty cool. I'm gonna try and get that going for myself, where I get more people at the shows. Like that's what we're trying to figure out now. It's like we have the shows, they're going good. We need people at them. That's what we're trying to do next. I think try to get a bunch of people at them.
We've got good shows and bad shows too. It's a tough world out there these days.
Yeah, I talked to an opening comedian's family for my set in Lincoln, Nebraska. Basically, it's like just a table full of people just like talking to them for no reason. And then there's a total of 7 people there. It was a very impressive show. It was
nice.
It was one that'll go down in the record books as like one of the best shows of all time.
In the annals of time.
Yeah, I think it will. Yeah, I think people will look at that one. No, it'd be like, it's hilarious to have those shows because like I think 2 years ago when I started doing comedy again, one of the first shows was like in front of a dartboard in like a barn in like Illinois, and like 1 year later I was playing Hawaii. It was just like funny to like see like the progress, and like you got to expand everywhere. You got to talk to 6 motherfuckers in Lincoln, so you got 12 next time. I don't fucking know. I mean, those are the 6 coolest motherfuckers ever that came to my fucking show. That's like how I feel. And then you get it going, and I like being humble, making fun of it, not just bragging about the cool shit. I think that it's like smart to like fucking be like, dude, it's like a public forum, like fucking like, yeah, sometimes it sucks. You got to be honest. You can't just be like, dude, everything's a home run I hit, bro. I'm Babe Ruth. You can't be like that.
Absolutely. Humility goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, trying to be a better person, and just trying to get that all going, man. Dude, that was crazy. So Stone had fucking Trump as a guest on his fucking radio show, and that just blew up. Like that's the first interview Trump's done like post like the trial and stuff. So that's like a huge interview and stuff, and that's like nuts, probably.
Dude, I mean, it's hard to fathom the world that guy comes from, Roger Stone. It's pretty crazy he came on the show because, I mean, he's definitely living in a different reality than us. I mean, the dude was FBI raided and arrested. What was it, like a year or 2 years ago?
3 years ago, I think. Yeah.
3 years now. I mean, he was basically a political prosecution. Regardless of what you think of him. I mean, I know that he's a polarizing figure to people because, he's on one side of this divisive spectrum here, but regardless of what you think of him and his politics, people shouldn't be prosecuted like that for being on the wrong side of a political aisle. Yeah,
you can't prosecute your political opponents, and I think that's what's most important. Like even though we all want to be babies and just like block everybody and not talk to them and beat them up and fucking put them in jail and all this shit, we have to deal with everybody. Earth's a collab. You have to deal with every single fucking person on this planet, even if they're dumb, even if you disagree with them, even if they're fucking everything you think you hate. Hatred's fake. But anything you think you hate. And I think yeah, it's just like we just gotta rise in consciousness and like fucking
save the world because it's gonna be on fire if we don't. You know what I mean? It's like oh my god, I just want to play Xbox now to save the world right now. I'm like, fuck, you know, it's like you know what I mean? That's what it feels like as an American. I feel like it's like what the fuck? I just want to do dope shit. You know what I mean? You're gonna end the world when I fucking start blowing up? Like what the fuck? You know, it's like it took me 20 years. You know, that's how I feel. You know, it's like I feel like there's a lot of cool things we could do instead of like have 19-year-olds beat up 19-year-olds from other countries. You know, I think there's a lot of like there's a lot of other things we could do. You know, I think,
dude, it is crazy. You know that World War III is like not just a reality, but like a logical next step at this point in the mess that we've kind of created, you know.
And I want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with war or fucking anything like that. Fuck all war. All that shit's stupid. And like, you mean, it's like I want nothing to do with that shit. I just want, you know, we need to fucking rise and just like just deal with these guys and be like, dude, man, this is like, I don't know. I'm Christian, man, so I'm like my soul's immortal and stuff. But I like to hang a little bit longer. Life just got cool, you know. So I'm trying to hang a little bit longer, you know. But like my soul's infinite. I've probably been here many times, whatever, you know. I'm trying to do the right thing, but.
Yeah, it's a weird time to be alive. That's for sure. It's definitely, you know, everything's on the line.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Bill Hicks thing too. Kind of where like you watch TV, it's like war, famine, death, and you go outside, it's like birds chirping and shit. So it's like, is this my programming, my MK Ultra programming, make me think, oh, this is real, or is this fucking real? And like my instincts are like, it's real. It feels like real to me. And I'm like, man, I want to resolve all this and like. You know what I mean? It's like come to God already. Like you want to murder people? It's like that's what you want to do with your time on Earth is murder people. Like how like just how lame is that? You know? It's like such low vibration bullshit. You know?
Yeah, and it's trippy because I feel like I was saying earlier when Roger was still on, it's like the political circus that has occurred in our country now has like the people that used to pump peace and love the most, like almost like pushing for conflict with Russia, you know, and it's like it's mind-boggling, dude. Now, it's like that's the last thing we need.
Yeah, Russia's never done shit to me. Russia's never done shit to me, man. I got nothing to say about them, you know. I'm just talking about the individuals inside my government. We need to fucking get them like doing their job or something, you know. It's like restricting all speech on platforms. You know, you can't even say words anymore. It's like what is going on? You know, it's just like lame, dude. It's just like lame. It's like if you want me to be a slave, tell me from birth on I was a slave. Don't tell me I was fucking free. All this shit happened, and then tell me I'm not free. I'm like shut the fuck up. You mean that's like how I feel. It's like they're just like trying to put us all in these little boxes or something, and I want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to fucking do with this evil in this world at all. You know, I just want only good shit, man. You know, I'm here for the good shit.
I hear you, dude. Same thing. Same here.
What on? I was gonna say everybody should get a Smile Empty Soul shirt in Kentucky tonight. If you should get this exact same shirt, the 20th anniversary shirt, and then you should go to Stone. Get a Roger Stone shirt. You should do them both and support the fucking 20th anniversary of one of the best bands on this planet right now. Before it ends, go see them before the world fucking ends, okay? And then the FBI agent's watching me. I'll be in Seattle Thursday if you'd like to watch my show live with the other people that like comedy and pretend to be a human being. I think that and what else we got? We got a castle. I got a castle on Saturday or someone. I don't know. Look at my fucking tour. AnthonyRogers.us/tour. I don't know where the fuck I'm going, but find out with me where I'm going. I think a castle's coming up though. That's pretty cool.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it should be Smile Empty Soul and Anthony Rogers at the castle. We need to make that happen next time. We go there and be like all we need is a band now. You know, it's like
dude, I'm definitely down to play a castle. Let's get it set up.
I can't believe I am even. I'm just like I can't even believe. Like I've been saying this shit since I was 19. Now it's finally happened. I'm like, oh my god, that took forever. Fuck, should have this castle when I was 19. Fuck, you know. Now I'm like fucking turning 37. I'm like, oh god. I'm like Bukowski, like fucking walking over the walker. I'm like, you guys want to hear jokes? I'm finally in this castle. You know, I'm finally in this room to talk to you. It took me fucking 20 years to fucking spamming on the internet to get here. It's like that's like what it fucking feels like, bro. I don't know. You have the opposite thing. You blew up first. You blew up at 21. I respect that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're like I don't give a fuck. I gotta do a show.
I should probably get going because I gotta go play this show. But who do we got coming on next week?
I have to look that up, man. I got no fucking clue.
I don't know either.
somebody fucking cool, because like everybody on here is cool. So I tune back next week and watch reruns on Roku. Yeah, have a good show, man. I'll probably talk to people still because I got people here for about 5 more minutes.
Thanks, dude.
Okay.
That sounds good, and good luck in Seattle, man.
Yeah, God bless you tonight, man. Have a good show. Kill it. I hope the whole state shows up, like I said. Keep killing it, dog.
Take care.
Well, now it's just me and this blanket behind me. So there's 803 people watching this still. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. If you could do me a favor and share this video a million times before it gets deleted. Download the Anthony Rogers TV on Roku app. It's free. So I'll never charge for that shit. It should always be free. And thank Cody for pressing all these buttons and making this look like a real show. Thanks, Cody.
Yep.
And yeah, God bless each and every one of you watching this. And hopefully we get through this terrible time we're in and start killing it all the time. But